Hey everybody, it's Q&A with Dr. A Day on Wednesday. This show is brought to you by FanDuel. I'm just going to chill out and answer some of your questions for 15 or 20 minutes, and that'll be our final show of the day. It's been a busy one so far. Thanks for joining. We're going to start off with a question from Bowen Chen. Wants to know, how good is Ty Jerome? Is he worth stashing as a backup guard? I've had Ty Jerome and DeJounte Murray both stashed on my IRs all season long. And I'm getting tired of waiting, but I feel like if we've waited this long, we got to keep waiting. And if you're just thinking about stashing those guys, now is probably a good time to do it because, you didn't have to deal with them for the first 2 months of the season. And now they both should be nearing a return. I haven't done a deep dive on when exactly Jerome is going to play. I haven't looked at when exactly Murray's going to play. I feel like Jerome is closer than Murray. But yeah, I think Ty Jerome's a very good player. He was very good last year. I don't know how long it's going to take him to get acclimated coming back from the injury, but in a general vacuum nutshell situation, my opinion is yes, Ty Jerome's good enough that he's worth stashing. Jude Bellingham wants to know, is it okay to drop AJ Mitchell? Interesting question with OKC getting back at full strength tonight. On Wednesday night, they are playing, and Lou Dort is back. Alex Caruso's back. I think that's just more bad news for AJ Mitchell. A lot of interesting free agents out there in a lot of leagues. I think you can do better. I would, depending on your league size, if it's 10 or 12 teams, I would think you could go ahead and drop AJ Mitchell. Raps fan wants to know, trade Amen Thompson and Keontae George for Trae Young and Ayo Dosunmu. I don't think I would do that. First of all, we don't know when Trae is going to play. Ayo has kind of been a mess, very up and down. Kobe White is healthy, and Josh Giddey is healthy. Amen Thompson is very good. He's underrated. And Keontae's had a great year with one really bad game and a lot of really good ones. I would keep Amen Thompson and Keontae George personally. W757 wants to know who can beat OKC. I'm going to say nobody until somebody beats them and proves that they can be beaten. I mean, they look better than they looked last year, and the competition got better. At least I feel like it got better on paper, but they're having an easier time this season than they did last year. So I don't know, man. They look incredible. Goo James wants to know Jakob Poeltl or Ryan Kalkbrenner. Depends on how healthy those guys are. In a vacuum, I like Kalkbrenner, but I know he's kind of been in and out a little bit. Poeltl misses games as well. So it's kind of a coin toss. I'm going to say Kalkbrenner, but I don't love it. And then you might want to keep an eye on Moussa Cisse, the soon-to-be new center for the Dallas Mavericks, if that is a need for you. Maximus Vision says, what's the outlook for Dyson Daniels the rest of the season? Keep or trade him. Roto 9Cat, I think you keep Dyson Daniels. It's been rough, been a little bit rough, but he's still getting the steals, which is why you drafted him. The rest of his numbers aren't terrible. He's just not blowing up like we hoped he would. It depends on what you can trade him for, though. Also, if you find somebody who loves Dyson Daniels and wants to give you a bunch of good stuff for him, then you trade him. But generally speaking, I'm okay with holding Dyson, even though he's been a little disappointing. JR says, hello, opinions on holding Ware and its shallow 10-team 9-cat head-to-head league. So it's 10 teams, and we're coming off a night when Khalil Ware just played like 12 minutes and didn't do hardly anything. If I'm in a 10-team league and I'm looking at my waiver wire and there are guys out there where I'm like, oh, man, this guy should be rostered. It's going to be hard for me not to drop Khalil Ware in a 10-team league right now. And I love Khalil Ware. I'm not I'm not suggesting that people run out and drop Khalil Ware because the upside is there. He plays low minutes one night, and then they come back and play him 30 minutes the next night. But as JR mentioned, the Heat are healthy, and everybody needs minutes now. And it still seems like they are a little weird about wanting to play Khalil Ware and Bam Adebayo together. So I don't know. I'm not going to recommend trading Khalil Ware or dropping Khalil Ware. I mean, in a 10-team league. But if you feel like you need to, and there's a really good player like Colin Gillespie or somebody else sitting out there on your waiver wire, I could see it happening. Now, if you drop Khalil Ware, know that you're not going to get him back because he's probably going to be scooped up as soon as he hits the wire. Amin wants to know Miles Bridges or Jaren Jackson Jr. Honestly, I trust Miles Bridges more at this point. Mamba Memo, welcome back, sir. Do I drop Dante for Herb Jones? Is that Dante DiVincenzo for Herb Jones? I mean, Herb Jones has played really well in his one game. He's played in his last 6. DiVincenzo's been kind of a mess all year. I think I'd rather have Herb Jones, even though I'm not really high on Herb Jones. So, yes. But can you drop Dante for somebody else? Look into that, too. Sixers fan or tan, I can't tell which. Who will win the NBA Cup, Doc? I am not a huge NBA Cup guy. I've not been paying huge attention to it. But if I had to put money on somebody, it would be Oklahoma City. I feel like these teams want to win the cups. They got a little bit of a playoff vibe to them. The guys get paid. The guys at the end of the bench who don't play a lot or make a lot of money get paid. So I think it is important to these teams. And I think if I was going to bet on anybody to win anything in the NBA right now, it'd be OKC. James 64 says 9-cat head-to-head, Keegan Murray or Reed Shepherd or De'Aaron Fox. Okay, I don't really understand this question, James 64. 9-cat head-to-head, Keegan Murray and Shepherd or De'Aaron Fox for Brandon Miller. So you're giving up Murray. It's a 2-for-1. You're giving up Murray and Fox or Murray and Shepherd. You're getting back Brandon Miller, who was hurt to start the season. It's been a little rough. If you're trying to if you've got too much depth and you just want to get a better player back, maybe I do it for Brandon Miller. I don't think I'm not trading De'Aaron Fox in that scenario. So I might do Murray and Shepherd for Brandon Miller. But I'd have to think about that. Look into that. I don't have any Brandon Miller anywhere. I wanted him, but I never got him. So I haven't been fully dialed into what Brandon Miller is doing. But I think Murray and Shepherd for Miller might work, but kind of like Keegan Murray and Shepherd too. XB wants to know Colin Gillespie or Miles Turner or Brandon Ingram. So I don't know. These guys, is this a super shallow league and they're all available on your waiver wire? Or are you thinking about making a trade? You just want me to rank these 3 guys? I would rank them. Man, Gillespie's been really good. And this Devin Booker injury is making him even better. Brandon Ingram is injury prone. I have some trust issues with him, but he's having good nights. He had a really good game last time out. And then Miles Turner with no Giannis should be really good. So this is actually tough, but I'm going to rank them Gillespie, Ingram, and then Turner. Andre, what is next, my friend? Daniel Paisley, welcome back, Daniel. Yo, Doc, what do I do with Lively in a keepers league? My 3 injured slots are filled with Scoot, Halliburton, Fred VanVleet. I think I'd put Lively into the injured spot and get rid of Scoot. I mean, it just doesn't feel like it's going to happen. You definitely don't want to touch Halliburton, obviously. And Fred VanVleet, I'm not super high on VanVleet either. And he Scoot's a lot younger than he is. So maybe it's down between Lively, Scoot, and Fred VanVleet. But again, I think I would go Lively over Scoot. Dennis, 45-44, trade Miles Turner and Shaden Sharp for Jalen Green. You're giving up two healthy assets that are playing okay for a guy who could be really good when he gets back. And then again, could take him a while to get back from the injury. I think it's dangerous. I would need to see the rest of your roster. I think that's doable. I don't think you need to feel like you have to go get Jalen Green because I don't really feel like I have a grasp on what the near future holds for Jalen Green. Frank Game Blouses says, I need to activate Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry in my 12-team 9-cat head-to-head league, but I'm having trouble on which two players to drop. Jalen Tyson, Derek Queen, Maxime Reynaud, Jay Huff are my worst players. So you're getting Jimmy and Steph back, so you got to do something here. I think I'd go Queen and Reynaud. I like all four of those players that you have to think about dropping. I like Jay Huff and Jalen Tyson just a little bit. I trust them a little more than I trust Queen and Reynaud, but that's a tough call, dude. Luka D, would you drop PJ Washington? I think you have to think about dropping PJ Washington. This lively news may bring him back into play a little bit, but it just feels like he's not being used in Dallas quite properly. It depends on who you're going to pick up for PJ Washington. But I mean, yes, I think he's droppable. Maximus Vision, what's the outlook for Dyson Daniels rest of the season? Keeper trade? I think I already answered that one, Andre. Yeah, that was the I would recommend keeping Dyson Daniels, but it all depends on what you can trade him for. If you can trade him for something that you think is going to help you win your league, do it. He still has a ton of trade value. Santee, would you add Jrue Holiday? I'm still holding Jrue Holiday in a league where I don't have room on my injured list, so he's actually eating up a roster spot. And I am not feeling good about that decision, but I've been holding him. So Jrue Holiday was very good when he was playing. I don't know what the plan is for him when he comes back. I also don't know exactly when he's coming back, but in a nutshell, generally speaking, I would hold Jrue Holiday. Meru says OG Anunoby or Julius Randle. I want to say OG Anunoby, but I feel like Randle's having a better year. So I'm gonna say it's a coin flip, but I'm leaning Julius Randle, which is weird. Frank the Tank says, who do you trust more, Mark Williams or Ryan Kalkbrenner? I'm gonna go with Mark Williams, which is weird. 3&D, would you trade Dyson Daniels for Domantas Sabonis? Depends on my team build. If you can afford to get rid of those steals, I mean, you're basically trading steals for points and rebounds. I think that's a workable trade. I think that's probably a fair trade. Depends on your team build as to which side of it you want. Fanatic, are you concerned with the Nets tanking this season? Yes, I'm always concerned about the Nets tanking. I know Michael Porter Jr. has been on an incredible roll. Do I worry about that lasting when the tank hits? A little bit, yes, given his injury history and his bad back. But, I mean, even if they tank, there's still going to be plenty of goodies and silly season heroes coming through in Brooklyn. So I'm worried about it, but I'm not that worried about it since most of their players are silly season guys anyway. Sam wants to know Keyshawn George or Dante DiVincenzo rest of season. I'm going Keyshawn George. That was easy to me. And JB wants to know Jarrett Allen, is he just a top 100 player? Yeah, I think we've covered that a lot at NBA Fantasy NBA Today at SportsEthos. Jarrett Allen's pretty boring. Rick Camla really doesn't like him. I think he serves a purpose. He's a good consistent roto player, but he doesn't have any pop in head-to-head leagues and doesn't really get people's juices flowing. So, yeah, I mean, Jared Allen is just a top 100 player, and I think that's all he's ever going to be. So, all right, that's going to do it for Q&A with Dr. A, brought to you by the great people at FanDuel. And I will be here Thursday solo covering the shows. Brew's not going to be here, and then Brew will be back on Friday. So I will see you all tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern time. We're going to do it all again. Have a good one.